So, the video what you've been waiting for. Right, so all you do, get that out. Get this out. Right, plug that into your VD port. Before any of this, make sure you've got your battery stabiliser connected, because some cars draw more power than others. They'll kick in the fan and other components of the engine and other electrical parts. Try and make sure all the radio and everything's off. Heating unit. There we go. You go on to work, go on to vehicles, go on to car, find your model. It's an Audi A38P, and then you find out which one it is. Even if you click on the wrong one, I'll show you an example here. So let's click on that. Onto that. Let's do an ID. Switch on the ignition on. Sometimes it can take some time. Let's go on. Some cars you can tune the gearbox, DSG, paddle shift. So, but you will need extra cables for it. A lot of them you need to take a read from the actual gearbox, and that's a completely different cable. Then you map it into the ECU after you've got the read. So when you're sending the modded file, it'll be through the ECU. So let's go on engine. Protocol not correct. Use protocol flash. 0072 can. Right. So it won't let you do it if it's the wrong protocol, which is a good function. So it's gone to the correct one. Do an ID. Switch on the ignition. Switch off the ignition. Pre-warning for you. This A3 takes forever. Switch on the ignition. Usually you don't need to switch it on and off as many times as this one, but this does take forever. Switch on the ignition. back on.
What are you doing, mate? Why is it not working?
Well, that's a bit quiet. What does it mean? It means I'm making a video for somebody because they want to know how to use it.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Right, so it comes up with all ID. Right, and that'll save onto your logs on it. Go on OK. And then you go on to read. On the dashboard. Come up with the ID again. Sometimes you don't need to set the ID and send the ID over. If you're doing a read, usually it will get the ID anyway. Okay, proceed to read. I'm not going to do the read because I am going to be here for about 20 minutes on this car. It's slow as hell. But yeah, after that you click on proceed to read and it'll give you a timer. Comes up with the same loading bar, but it actually says a time inside it. This just takes forever, so there's no point me doing it on this. So I'm going to cancel. Switch off the dashboard. Right. Some cars you will notice there is specials. Counter. Reading, writing, recovery. Same options as usual. On here, you can see there's no writing. There's only reading and ID and specials. All of them, when you're taking a read, you will not get a writing option because it hasn't got a file on here to write onto it. If in doubt, you think, has it definitely actually saved the file? Go on to Tools, go on to Explore SD, go on to, it's got double dots there. Click on that. No, go to FPF file, sorry. It's got the ID of this vehicle saved there. Some vehicles, as I'll show you now, it's getting more common on newer vehicles as well for this. So one of them, which did get added about 2 years ago I think now, which you couldn't do through OBD, is, so if I go down to Volkswagen, can't remember what they're on. I know they're in vans. I'll go on to that. LCV. So light commercial vans. Go down to Volkswagen. Go to Caddy. And the 1.6 TDIs. Those. 1.6 TDI. Onto that. These have got a PCR 2.1 ECU. Wasn't able to be done through OBD because it needed a patch onto it to be able to the dynamic tuning chip onto it. 2 years ago it got released onto this, so you can do it straight through OBD. On these, the virtual reads only, which is an ID. So on this, you'll go into full OBD because you're doing everything through the OBD, and it'll only come up with ID. That is all you need. You only need that ID. So you go through the whole process again, get the ID. When you're doing stuff like that, if you go onto Explore SD and if you think it might not be there, do not listen. It is saved onto it. It will not show inside here because it ain't got a read or anything. It can't identify it completely, so it won't show up FPF file ID. It will not show that. It won't show anything there. So on your device, it's like it's blank. So what you need to do is it's on there. Don't worry about that, it is on there. So at that point, you get your laptop. 1 second. The reason they have the virtual reads, the IDs, reads only, so you can't actually take a full read of it. Car manufacturers do not need to take a read off your vehicle. If they're updating the read on the ECU, they'll just plug it in and update it. They'll write a file onto it. They will never need to take a read off your vehicle. So a lot of newer vehicles are getting rid of the whole reading process on the ECU. It will not let you do it, because they don't need to. So all it is at that point with an ID read, you get the vehicle's information. That's all you need, the vehicle's information. As soon as you have the vehicle's information, you send that to Ultimate Engine Carbon Clean, Richard, and he will he'll go onto the database, find a file for that car, a bog standard file, and merge the ID with that file, and then he can tune from there. So that's the only way you can do the ID reads. So 1 second, it'll come up. Right, I might have to end this video. I'll be back in a second.